Hi there, it's Sandra here from the WLA on an absolutely stunning afternoon, a bit chilly, and today I wanted to talk to you about vulnerability. I was with a team a couple of weeks ago, small team, fairly new, weren't particularly getting on, and the team leader asked if I'd support and help and see what we could do. So we did quite a bit of pre-work, and then we held an off-site meeting. It's always useful to get to a space which is non-work. If ever my heart sinks a bit when teams say, oh yeah, we've got a great office in our building, because it doesn't happen that way. You end up going to meetings and people call you and knock on the door and want to come in and all that crap. So I much prefer to be in a neutral space. Anyway, for this particular team we were, and we you could tell there was a bit of tension, but actually there was a sense of willingness to make this work, because there's a lot riding on this team being and working together in a different way anyway. And not every group of individuals can become a team. I now kind of feel this quite strongly. We can become a group of individuals that work better together, or we can be a high performing team, and it depends on culture, depends on the purpose and focus of the team. Either is fine. Anyway, on this day there was we did an activity. We'd created the space. It was after lunch, and we were sharing some stuff really about who we were and what was important to us. And a particular individual who admittedly said he'd been quite cynical and what was the point, too busy, endless things to do, all this fluffy nonsense. And he actually got talking and really started to share some stuff about himself that was incredibly moving. He visibly became upset, which threw him a bit actually, because he'd said I wasn't expecting to do this, but he felt that he shifted some stuff inside. And this is what can happen with leadership, when we can get out of our head. You hear me talk about this a lot, don't you? And get into our heart. When we get into the things that really matter to us, we form a connection to other people which we can't describe, because heart-based leadership, it doesn't have a set of labels and a set of tick boxes and a set of tasks. It's a connection, it's an energy, it's a feeling that is it is just difficult to express. Sorry, my arm was aching then. I need one of them sticky things, don't I? So this was super powerful, and we caught up. We didn't make a big song or dance about it, and we caught up a little later, a week or two later. Yeah, it was last week, I think. And this individual looked different, just looked visibly different, looked lighter. Prior to that, a weight on shoulders and not really bothered, a genuine lighter. And he'd said that even his wife had said that he'd found his mojo was back, and he was just feeling in a different place. And again, so often we hold stuff and we think we've got to be this stoic leader that doesn't show any sign of emotion, because that's not what leadership is about. And I disagree. Now, it's not about being an emotional wreck all the time. It's not about sharing your whole story to everybody who walks through the door. But there is something about sharing what really matters to you from your heart and not from your head. And when we can do this in teams, it can massively shift the dynamic, because we've got to have the foundation of safety and openness. And Patrick, I can't say his name, Leccioni, with his 5 dysfunctions of a team, talks about absence of trust as being one of the main reasons teams don't perform and don't connect. And you can't just create trust though, trust has to be built. For some people, they will automatically trust people, but a lot of senior teams, that needs you need to prove your weight, if you like. I need to feel as though this will be honoured and respected before I trust you. And that's the bit that I think teams can often override, that they do all the functional bits but not these kind of heart important bits. So that's what happened. It was powerful with this individual. It's been a real move for the team. It's very early days yet. I'm not saying that this is suddenly the magic wand, but it was lovely to see the team just showing up slightly differently as a result. So as a leader, if you're watching this and you're interested in how can you connect better to your team, better to your peers, even better to your boss, Wherever there's a pinch point in your relationship, hopefully you've got a nice relationship stakeholder map that you work to, and where you're finding it's not working, there could be something in you that says, could I be a bit more vulnerable? Could I share what I'm really passionate about? Can I own it? You know, I was working with another client actually earlier this week, great individual, and very, very, very in his head. And we were laughing about it because when I got him to just share what was important to him, it was really hard for him to go in. It was hard to go in and kind of like go into the well and start to explore what was really going on. And this is what happens so often for leaders. So I guess what is my point? My point is, where can you be a bit more vulnerable? Where can you start to show more of your heart in the interactions you're having with others? And maybe just think about answering the question, I feel, rather than I think. Perhaps at the end of a meeting, perhaps at the start of a meeting, perhaps in the middle of a discussion. Consider answering that statement or filling in the blanks. And on that note, I'm going to carry on climbing up that hill. Doesn't look that big, but honestly it's a puffer, and enjoy the evening sun. So you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care.